What it do, y'all? It's your boy Fizz back in the house. Just going to talk a little bit about San Francisco Giants, LA Dodgers rivalry. Dodgers took the series 2-1, but it's all good. It's only the first three games they played against each other, and they're going to play 15 or 16 more down the road. Funny thing is, they're not going to play again until, I believe, July or something like that. So it's going to be a long gap before we see the Dodgers again, and it just means, I believe, that, down the stretch, especially in September, September's going to be an interesting month. It's especially if the Giants can, keep some of the momentum going. I know we lost a series. It's the first series we lost this year. But I believe the pitching is going to be okay. And if we can get some timely hitting from, here and there, then I think we'll be okay. Bad news for the Giants. Mark DeRosa, I think, tweaked the hamstring on Saturday, but he's day-to-day, so he should be okay. But I'm more concerned about losing Aaron Rowan. The Giants put him on the DL list. He was hit by the pitch, got a concussion, and I think had like a couple of fractures in his cheekbone or something like that. So he's on a DL, and, hopefully we can get both of those guys back soon. And just got to hope, the injury bug doesn't get to the Giants this year. I hate for injury, to try to mess up this good chemistry that I feel that the Giants got going on so far. But I'll talk a little bit about the series. Friday was pretty much over after the first, well, I won't say after the first inning because the Giants actually made a game of it, later on in the game. But the Dodgers jumped on Wellemeyer early. I believe they got 7 runs off them. And by the time the Giants made a run of it in the ninth inning, it was over. Giants scored 5 runs in the ninth inning, but it was too little, too late, and they lost game 1 to the Dodgers, 10-8. Then you got game 2 with Tim Lincecum on the mound, and he not only did his job pitching, which he did 6 innings, 7 strikeouts, pitched another great game, but also did it, behind the plate, batting, going 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs. So Lincecum was doing it all yesterday in the Giants' 9-0 victory over the Dodgers. Fast forward to today, Sunday, the rubber game. Barry Zito against Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw pitched a great game for the Dodgers. Struck out 9, and it seems like he seems to be pitching pretty good games against the Giants. When he faced them last year, I believe he struck out 13 Giants. So the only mistake he really made was that solo shot he gave it to Juan Uribe. I'm sorry. He gave it to Juan Uribe in the top of the 7th, and that was his only mistake. So he got the no decision, and Barry Zito, who pitched for the Giants, also got the no decision. He pitched a pretty good game as well, went 7 1/3. He only gave up 4 hits, I believe, and he struck out 3. So he pitched a pretty decent game, and Bochy sent him out in the 8th inning on a short leash to where if somebody got on base, then he would pull him. And Zito got the first guy out in the bottom of the 8th, and then he walked the next batter, so he got on base. And then Bochy, was like, that's it for Zito, and he brings in Sergio Romo, and Man Ram comes in, pinch hits a 2-run shot off a 1-2 pitch. Dodgers win 2-1. Thanks for coming. And the funny thing was, I was actually listening to KMER. I was listening to the post-game show, and I heard some callers calling in, bitching about, Bruce Bochy, questioning whether Bochy should have really sent Barry Zito out in the 8th inning. And, and of course, some people shitting on Zito because they're still not sold on him. They're still skeptical that he can come in and be a solid starter for the Giants. Okay, here's my thoughts on this. I believe Barry Zito earned the right to go into the 8th inning. Why? Because he only gave up 4 hits. He was pitching a great game. And Bochy put him on a short leash, and he gave up the walk, and that was it. I'm not hating on Bochy on that. I probably would have made the same move. You're pitching a good game, and unless I see you worn down, you can go back out there. And I'm not questioning Bochy's moves right there. It's just, hey, you win some, you lose some. Some decisions you make, are going to benefit you, or some are not. And unfortunately, this one didn't. My beef is Sergio Romo. Now, I'm not saying, fuck Sergio Romo or anything like that, but it's a 1-2 count. You're ahead of Manny Ramirez. Why are you pitching over the plate to him? That's what I want to know. I mean, I'm just curious to why you're not pitching around him, trying to make him chase a pitch that he can't get. Why are you pitching right over the plate just for him to knock it out of the park? I mean, that's my only beef right there with this game. And hey, we all make mistakes or whatever, and I'm sure Sergio Romo wanted that pitch back, but it was a very ill-advised pitch. I would have tried to pitch around Manny Ramirez. I mean, you know what the man can do. But, it is what it is. Dodgers win 2-1, and they take the series 2-1. And, looks like, and we're not going to face them again until probably July. So, we'll see him again later in the season. And, other than that, Giants are 8-4 right now. I believe we go to San Diego next to play the Padres. Not really a pushover team right there. They have 25 guys on that squad. They got speed on that team, and the Padres are not a team that, I think the Giants should overlook. Especially the last 3 or 4 years where we've been to Petco Park and we haven't had much success. So there you go right there. I think after the Padres series, I believe is going to be a real critical part of the season for the San Francisco Giants up until May 2nd. After the Padres, I believe we have the Cardinals, the Phillies, and the Padres. And I'm not sure in all that order, but Cardinals, Phillies, Padres. So by May 2nd, hopefully we Giant fans will get an idea of, where the San Francisco Giants stand. And it's still going to be a young season, yes, but it'll at least give us a general idea of where this team stands and how we do against certain playoff contending teams like, the St. Louis Cardinals or the Philadelphia Phillies or even the Colorado Rockies. So this is a critical stretch for the Giants, and, if the pitching holds up and we can get some timely hitting, then, we'll just let everything fall into place and everything will take care of itself. But other than that, that's all I got. Guess the next time I'll talk to you will probably be, after the first round of the draft. I'll talk about the 49ers. But until then, I'll get with y'all next time. Late.